Well, hello, everyone. My name is Shannan Vance-Ocampo, and I serve as the General Presbyter for the Presbytery of Southern New England. And it's my great joy today to introduce you, if you have not yet met Kate Carlisle, the Reverend Kate Carlisle, who is the candidate for joint stated clerk between the Presbyteries of Southern New England and Boston. Kate uses they, them pronouns, and we're just going to have a quick little conversation here to give everyone an opportunity to know Kate a little bit and hear about their ministry and some of the things that they have been up to. So Kate, it's great to see you. And I wanted to start out with asking you to tell us a little bit about your call to ministry, what you've been up to so far in ministry, and why stated clerk, why polity?
So I grew up in the church, always loved being involved in church. I was a youth elder. I didn't really start thinking about ministry until I was in college. I was involved with an Episcopal campus ministry and just really found myself falling in love with planning and leading our Sunday night activities with this little group of people who kept saying, well, you're going to seminary, right? And sort of found myself on that path one step at a time. I have my first role out of seminary was a short-term and interim position at the PMA in Louisville. So I got to be part of national ministry. And then my first call was as an associate pastor to a church in Western Kentucky. And I came to the Presbytery of Boston in 2016 to serve as pastor of the Presbyterian Church in Needham, which closed in the summer of 2020. So since the fall of 2020, I have been on staff at Church of the Covenant, which is in Boston, doing children and youth Christian ed work, doing administrative work, wearing sort of whatever hat needs to be worn in partnership with the lead pastor and the associate pastor there. And why stated clerk? I've always been a little bit of a polity nerd. I wrote something in my statement of faith about having been obsessed with the Book of Order and Book of Confessions since I was in confirmation, which would have been 8th grade. And I decided to fact check that with my mom, and she was like, that seems a little late. I feel like I like Presbyterian polity, and I like the way that our theology and our polity speak to each other and mirror each other, and that when we do it well, Presbyterian polity really is a way we witness to the love of God and to the way we're called to live as the beloved community in the world. That's not always the reality, but sometimes it is, and I really love that.
That's great. And tell me about something in ministry that's happened that, a story, something that's happened to you along the way in ministry that still brings you a sense of life and a sense of the spirit today.
So, since we're talking about stated clerk and polity themes, I'll talk about the first time I ever did elder training. Um, I was actually an associate pastor at the time, but this fell onto my plate, and I got to do an introduction to the Book of Order and some basic, a couple days of elder training with a group of elders who hadn't done it in a number of years. And there were several new elders in the bunch and several new, relatively new Presbyterians in the bunch, or new elders who had come to Presbyterianism as adults. And I still think of that experience because of what a joy it was to see people's face light up in learning about Presbyterian polity and in looking at this sort of stack of books and zeroing in on the faith claims and the the values that those put forward and how we do church together and how we share power. And I think that that's something that Presbyterians get excited about. It seems very dry and detached, but people get really excited about it, and it's really a foundation of a lot of the good work we're able to do.
Yeah, thank you. And tell us a little bit about you, passion projects, things you do in your downtime when you're not doing official ministry, and a little bit about you and your life, things you want us to know about you.
So let's see. I live in the Roslindale neighborhood of Boston, and I have a dog. And so I like to take her on walks. I like to take her to the park. I love spending time in nature. I love being near the beach here in New England. I like to cook. I like to read. I keep a vegetable garden. I love to spend time with friends. Um, I suppose those are a few things you should know about me.
All good things to know. What kind of dog, and what's the dog's name?
Her name is Ella, and she is best guess a golden retriever boxer mix.
Oh,
And I am sure that anyone who spends time on Zoom with me in the coming weeks and months will get to meet her in that capacity.
that's great. We've loved meeting all the pandemic assistants that we all have, and that
Yes.
are now part of all of our meetings and all of our lives. So we look forward to meeting Ella too. Well, thanks, Kate. It's great to just chat for a little bit, share a little bit, and we're so excited to welcome you into this new venture in ministry, and just excited to see what God has in store and what the Spirit has in mind for us in this season. So, Kate, welcome.
Thanks. I'm looking forward to it.